Hello and welcome to week 15 of my account update series, the account where I'll be spending a little bit each month in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. So yeah, I think we have a few interesting bits and pieces to go through this week. I guess what's been happening this week, mainly I've been doing Conquest. It's been an off week in terms of GAC, so I'll get to my Conquest progress a little bit later in the video. Continuing on with Coliseum, we've just unlocked Vel. I've gone straight to, not straight to 5 stars, I've gone to 4 stars and will be 5 stars at the end of the first week of Vel. So yeah, a lot of stuff happening, but I think we'll start just by going through the major account updates. So the focus in terms of farming is very much on Leia at the moment. If I backtrack slightly, Profundity, which I guess will be the next unlock, is completely done. We have all of the relic requirements, we have all of the ship requirements, and as you can see up here, this event will start in 2 days, which I think is Saturday for me. Saturday morning the event will come, so won't be unlocking as part of this video, although I could technically buy a bunch of shards and unlock it early. I'm not going to do that, but yeah, we have all the requirements ready to go. We have Han's Millennium Falcon, which will be part of the ship. We have most of the abilities for this ship in the fleet where they need to be. I think there's maybe a little bit more that could be done there, but we are pretty much good to go. So putting Profundity to one side, the main focus is on Leia. So last week I used an Erodium Lightspeed token on Princess Nisa and have been farming, refreshing the node most days, just because I think I'm actually very close to unlocking Leia as we'll go, literally maybe within a week or two, but we'll discuss that a bit later. So I have been making sure I can farm Nisa's shards as quickly as possible because she needs to be 7 stars in order to get to Relic 7. Bosch or Bosch, I think it's Bosch, never know how to say that. We actually have a Lightspeed token ready to use, or I guess I do need to buy it. So have been doing well in Coliseum, getting 500 each day for the first couple weeks of the new era, which has meant we've been able to save up for another Erodium Lightspeed token, which I will purchase now, and I guess we can apply that. So the great thing about this token is that we only need Bosch at Relic 5, so I think it takes a while for the tokens to, once you use a token for it to register, but once I restart the game, that should show as a Bosch being ticked off, so that will be up to 10 requirements. So yeah, nice and easy. I guess what I will do is I think I will favorite her and put her on, I guess, the back burner in terms of my shard farming. So what I like to do is I like to have the ones I'm definitely going to hit each day, and I think I'll maybe go through this later in the video, but I'm interested in getting Stormtrooper Luke farmed just because it's going to take a while because it's single refresh, but as you can see from his portrait, already has half of the relics done. So even at low relics, so I think 5 stars you can get to relic 4, I think that could make quite a nice cheap 3v3 team with Stormtrooper Han and Leia, who I have both now through the Lightspeed token quests that we had this week. So interested in getting Luke to at least 5 stars, but I think I'll keep going. It might be nice to eventually get all of these era units up to 7 stars and get Maul hate fueled unlocked maybe in the future. I'll have to think about that, but I think short term definitely Luke, and then in the background just farming the Jedi Knight Cal Kestis requirements. Not Nisa, we want Bausch. Yeah, so I guess I can tidy this up now that I've started to tick some things off. So Merrin, I think, is really my only fleet. I am farming a couple of ships, but I think she's the only character that I'm interested in. For here, we can get rid of Dash, and I'll just replace Chirpa because I think you need a lead. Lobot, I'm pretty certain now that I will just use a lightspeed token on him, and I guess we could head back to the farm. So these are all of the characters I was initially planning on using the lightspeed token on. Just needs to go up to R7. I think I was able to get Scout up to R7 since the last time I did a video. So all that needs to be done in terms of the characters I need to take up to relics is Chief Chirpa. I've been slowly working on his relics, but I paused a little bit to farm Erodium. No, I've got Erodiums in my mind. Electrum conductors to take a bunch of the other requirements, these guys up to R7. And once I've done that, I will swing back around and finish Chief Chirpa. I will need to farm him up to 5 stars, I believe, but he is Cantina farm. So I think I can do that over the next week. Well, next few days really. It shouldn't take that long just to get 65, and then that will be Chief Chirpa. Lobot, I guess we'll see by the end of this video, but I think I'm really in striking range of Leia, so I think I'd like to just use my next Erodium Lightspeed token on Lobot, because if we go to currency, yeah, sorry, my game froze a bit there. So if we go to currency, I'm at, let's just call that 500. It will eventually take over just with all those like random 10s that you get from the Toto era levels. So we'll call that 500. That would be another 9 days if I was to keep up the 500 a day pace, which I think I'd be able to do. So would be, I guess, 9 days to get Lobot. And I think the reason I just want to use a token on him, yeah, I'd save a little bit of Cantina energy because I would have to farm him up to 5 stars. It's not a big deal. He's not a Kyrotech character, but at this point I've really not found Kyrotech to be a big blocker just because of all of the tokens. But what I want to be able to do is actually start farming Leia's gear as soon as possible. So by using Erodium Lightspeed token on Lobot, even though it's maybe a little bit of a waste just because there'll be those 2 extra relic levels that are not needed, it will let me farm Leia sooner. And I just think it'd be fun to unlock Leia as soon as possible because I can't use any Lightspeed token on Leia. So I think I'll see how I get on with the gear for Chirpa and then for Leia, but I think in just over a week I might apply a Lightspeed token to Lobot just to speed things along. And also I think we're getting to the point where I'm maybe starting to run out of like really good uses of Erodium Lightspeed tokens. I'm not quite there yet, but I think if we continue to get all of these Kyber Lightspeed tokens and Erodium Lightspeed tokens, there will come a point where I guess my criteria for the perfect use of a Lightspeed token, which is normally Kyrotech character, difficult farm, is needed at least Relic 5, that might start to get tested more and more. So occasionally using one just to speed up a farm that I'm very close to might make sense, but we'll wait and see. I'm still not 100% decided on that. What I am decided on, I guess there's no decision to make because it's pre-prescribed, is the Journey Quest token. So I just finished those off this morning for the latest batch, which all revolve around Commander Luke Skywalker. So I can just go ahead and apply that, and this will probably crash my game, and it does. I'll be back. Yep, so CLS, now at Relics, and all of the Zetas, which is great because he needs 3 Zetas. I don't even think I've got all 3 on my main account. I think there was one I was always able to do without, and then eventually CLS becomes less relevant anyway later on in the game, but it's great, especially early on, to have all 3 Zetas. And yeah, save the relics for now because I'll also go and unlock 3PO and Chewie. This isn't a specific token, but I have been eyeing up this droid token for a while to use on them. Don't really have another great use for that, to be honest. Of course it crashes again. Yep, here we go. I don't know why. I don't know if this happens for anybody else, but every time I apply a Journey Quest Lightspeed token on the PC client, it seems to just crash. Not a big deal, just kind of annoying when I'm doing these videos. So both of these are at relics, but if we go back to the Leia requirements, which because I've restarted, that is SWGOH done at relic 5. I'm just going to double check. They're not needed at 7 stars. She is required not at 7 stars. Okay, it says I've got the requirement there, so that's all good. What was I going to do? Yeah, so check what they required. It is relic 7 for both, I'm pretty certain. Yep, there we are. So I should have enough relic materials and signal data to take them both up to relic 7. Then we can see about R2D2. The reason I want to do these two first is because I could potentially already have some use with them. Maybe, I guess I don't have Chewbacca, so it won't be that great, but CLS leads, I have Han Solo and I'll have 3PO and Chewie. The two members I won't have at the moment are C3PO and Chewbacca. Chewbacca will be a Lightspeed token in about 4 weeks. C3PO might be a near target, and I'll go over my plans for after Leia after we go through the updates, but I think C3PO will be one of my next relics, just because he leads into a lot of other stuff, namely Jabba, Jedi Knight Luke as well. So, and also I will want him at relics to complete my CLS team. Will be useful for like Conquest, GAC as well. Just a good all-round early game character or team, which this account is definitely still in the I guess early. I never know what the difference between early and mid game is. I still class this as early, even though it is accelerated by money. Right, so yeah, we'll also pop up 3PO and Chewie. I have, as I mentioned, I switched this week from spending Mark II raid currency on like gear to spending it on relic mats, just because I knew I've got a bunch of R7s to make, and I'm able to track like the total gear that I need through hot utils, which is quite handy, so I can see how much gear I'm still missing for the farm. So I think being able to keep reasonably on top of that. Looks like maybe Erodium heat sinks might be the hold up for also getting R2 up to relic 8 today, but that's fine. I'll be able to farm them. I should have enough signal data. Right, so 3PO and Chewie at R7. I'm just checking, would I have enough? I'd have in other stuff to take R2 to relic 8. I think so, just about. Maybe not quite of this, but Erodium heat sinks. I do need probably 80, so probably wouldn't be able to do that today. I'll just have a quick check in the store for yes, there's some there, some here. Yeah, I can maybe, how much would I need? That would be 10, 50. I think that might be enough actually. If we head on over, and I will just craft a whole bunch. So what I think 80 I want to say is what I need. So we're at 35, so we need another 9, I think. Yes, it should just about be able to. Exhilarating content right here. Awesome. Okay, so I might be able to also get R2 up to relic 8. Always like to double check. I mean, I've done this enough times that I should probably know it. Yes, it is relic 8. Don't want any unnecessary relics if I don't have to. So yeah, let's just bump him up to relic 8. I may skip forward a little bit in the edit. Yep, so I do have enough to take R2 up to relic 8. So that is another requirement done. So now we just need to check what do we still have to do. So I've got all of these done, the sort of anniversary token related ones. So it is just Princess Nisa to R7, Chief Chirpa to R3, and Lobot to R3, and I think that's it. And then I can start saving relics for Leia. Either relic 8 or 9 I think I will go to for Leia, so double check. Yeah, so only 3 more requirements. So I think just over a week I can look at unlocking Leia, which would be, yeah, fantastic. I think my prediction and my plan was like 15th of March, so I think I might be able to sneak in just ahead of that, which would be great, and get that second GL and begin that ticket farm. So yeah, Leia is near. I keep going back here. Yeah, so that's that aspect pretty much done. What's next? So I thought I'd do a quick bit of planning for the phase after Leia. So I think my next big target, as I mentioned last week, will be Executor, but also I think because that's determined by when the Lightspeed tokens come out for Beskar armor, I will probably also line up Jabba for a very similar time, and I'll be able to accelerate Jabba quite a bit with the various Lightspeed tokens. So other things that I want to work on in the meantime. So Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, I think I will bump down a bit just because I'm still farming the shards, and I'm just doing this in the background when I have energy spare. It's not my top priority at the moment, but I'm making slow but steady progress. So I think I'll bump them down to here. Peridia Pals, I think, will be a target in that sort of space after Leia. I think I will most likely use an Erodium Lightspeed token on Captain Enoch. I could in theory wait for the Kyber Lightspeed tokens from the Andor event, but I think I'd actually want to unlock Enoch sooner than that, literally within the next few weeks. So I might just save up for another Erodium Lightspeed token and apply that on Enoch. Other things that I want to work on, and I guess we can make a tab for, so I think Stormtrooper Luke, I've started that farming, and I think I can maybe add in Han and Leia. We have them both relics and zetas from the events that we just had, so I think I hope to get them up to relics soonish, maybe around here, maybe after I focus on these guys, or maybe even before, just because I'll soon have Stormtrooper. Actually, let's say before, because it might be a few weeks until I get Lightspeed token for Captain Enoch, and I might be able to relic Luke sooner. The other thing I want to work on is the CLS team, as I mentioned. So we will have CLS, we'll have 3PO and Chewie and Han. Han I will get to relicate for Jabba, but we also will have, I haven't unlocked, just for doing some of the journey quests, but C3PO and also the fourth one, so Chewbacca. This will be in about a month when the Chewbacca Lightspeed token drops, so I'd want to have some, I think, relics saved for that. So I think we can maybe bump them up to, let's bump them up to here, I guess, in our plan. So might go for a short, sort of fun, low relic, a Stormtrooper Luke team, just because it's really not that much of an investment. Might be a nice thing to get up and running before next 3v3, maybe make use of the focus datacron. Maybe not the most efficient thing to be doing in the world, but I think, I don't know, it seems fun to me. CLS as well. Troopers, I think I will still work on. We'll need to work on Piet to relic 8 for Executor, and will potentially either use like Lightspeed tokens or just relics on these guys. It's not my biggest priority because I will be going for Jabba relatively soon, so yeah, just still there in the back burner for when I have some space to work on them. Yes, another, I guess, set that I want to work on is Hermit Yoda, and then also after I get Hermit Yoda we will have Jedi Knight Luke, because by that point we should have Chewbacca and all of the Jedi Knight Luke requirements, and it will just be Hermit Yoda. And I think Hermit Yoda would be great use of the Kyber Lightspeed tokens from Andor, which should be in about 6 weeks. So about then I'll look to get Jedi Knight Luke, and of course that will be a requirement for Jabba, and that will probably be the next thing I work on. So if I create another squad, right, so I've skipped me searching up a bunch of names, but I think for Jabba these would be the characters I will earmark for definitely using Lightspeed tokens on. Chrysanthemum, I will use the Bounty Hunter Lightspeed token from the quests. Aura Singh, I think, will be another Kyber Lightspeed token because she is a Cantina farm and is needed at Relic 6. Fennec is another bounty hunt. There's a Fennec Lightspeed token coming in about a month or 2 weeks, depending. Greedo, I think, again, isn't a difficult farm, but is needed at Relic 6, so I think could be another nice use of the Kyber Lightspeed token. And Skiff Guard Lando needed at Relic 5. I guess I could potentially apply a Kyber Lightspeed token on Skiff, maybe instead of Greedo. I think I will use a combination of a Kyber and a Rhodium on both of these. The argument for applying it on Skiff is that he's a slightly more difficult farm, not really that much more difficult, just because 12 energy Cantina, and also is only required at Relic 5, but with Relic Delta, I think having the GL team up at a sort of baseline of Relic 6, Relic 7 wouldn't be a bad idea. So these will be ones to keep in mind for Jabba. Then I'll add a bunch of the others that I will relic. So that will be, actually let me just do that now. Yep, so it will be these 4 which are needed at a maximum of Relic 4, I believe. So maybe might apply some Erodium Lightspeed tokens on, but mostly will just be farming and relicking them normally. I think in terms of order, I've got Bad Batch here just because we're getting those 2 Kyber Lightspeed tokens. So I have started farming Marauder, so I think I'll keep them here. So my plan, I think, will be apply the Bad Batch Lightspeed tokens at the end of the episode track. I think I'll apply one on Hunter, one on Tech, and then maybe just farm Wrecker because I want to farm, well, eventually I'd want to farm this ship anyway, so it makes sense to just farm that node, maybe use a Carbonite Lightspeed token on Wrecker, and then I won't really need to put in too much effort. It's not going to be my main ship, the Galactic Republic fleet, but with a couple of them at Relics, one at Gear 12, farming the Marauder will give me another option in terms of fleets for GAC when I start to need 2 for offense, 2 for defense. So that's why I've just got the Bad Batch in here. And I think the other thing to keep in mind is Empire, and specifically the Executor requirements. So, and that will be, actually maybe I'll add them all. So we have Vader will need to be at R7, Piet will need to be at R8, I will need to completely relic TIE Fighter Pilot, and I will also need to work on the lights. Actually, I think the only other one I will have to work on is Boba, because I have the other ones at R5, which is their requirements from the Finalizer Lightspeed bundle. So these will be the other characters, or my remaining relic requirements for Executor. So I would definitely bump that up in terms of priority, probably to about here, and get them ready for when I can go and unlock Executors of end of April, start of May. So yeah, I guess that's looking like the plan. The one I'm probably least sure on is the Trooper team, just because that is just for some extra assault battle tiers and is not super valuable, so I may shuffle them down later. And then also, I guess while we're at it, I will also add in the Mandalorians just to really flesh out the plan, because I will want to go for Bo. So we'll need these guys, and yeah, let's just add him. Already have Keller and Beck 7, which is his requirement, so I will use the Mandalorian Lightspeed token on Paz, I think I will use another Kyber Lightspeed token on Grogu. So at the moment that is potentially 4 of the Kyber Lightspeed tokens accounted for. So it would be Grogu or one of these 2 and Hermit Yoda. And then I will, we'll be getting the Lightspeed token for the Mandalorian. So a lot to work on. In terms of priorities, I'm trying to think, does this make sense? Tell you what, I might, just to keep it front of mind, this might not be the actual order. I do want to bump Jabba up a little bit because I think I could really, with all of those Lightspeed tokens, I can really push quickly for Jabba once I unlock Jedi Knight Luke. So I think very much like I'm doing with Profundity and Leia, I'll be able to unlock them hopefully similar time, maybe around May. So I think that'll be the plan. So yeah, with those Kyber Lightspeed tokens, I think Jabba could be a relatively quick farm. And of course, I really want that mod event just to improve my my quite pitiful mods at the moment. So yeah, I think I'm happy with that as a sort of plan. After I get rid of these guys and finish Leia, I will then do some sort of minor farms. These 3, just not that much investment required. Potentially troopers as well, and then really go headfirst into Jabba Executor. And then we're looking at, like, I guess other sort of side farms like Bo, Jedi Knight Cowcasters, and the Marauder pilots. So yeah, a lot of planning done there. So in terms of other bits and pieces, so yeah, I mentioned the episode track won't quite be at the end of it today, but in the next few days I will be getting those Lightspeed tokens, which I will apply on the Marauder pilots. Like the new Bad Batch, I guess in theory would be a better use, but I'm just not going to work on the rest of them, so it makes sense for me to apply them on the Marauder pilots. Interesting. Don't know what that's for. Probably some sort of bug fix. Fleet. Oh, I guess what this could be the first of my regular segment, which is Leviathan Watch. So if we look into ranks, we do have 1 Leviathan that's popped up. It's only 4 stars at the moment, and they're so far not troubling the top, but I imagine we'll be hoarding crystals and looking to get to 7 stars. I had a very quick look through, and I think, was it this guy looked like they also bought the bundle? I'm sure more have. Yes, for sure bought the bundle. At least the second one, like I'm just spying on people's rosters, doesn't look like they're able to pick up the one with Malik, but I'm sure they are very much working on that. This is no slight against anyone, I just want to know when and how quickly Leviathans could start to pop up in the Fleet Shard, and I'm sure there's more, but at the moment just 1 4-star Leviathan. I'm sure the next time the Leviathan event comes out, which will be at the 20th, at the end of next month, I'm sure we'll get some more unlocked. So yeah, on the lookout for those. GAC, obviously it was an off week, so just a couple of hours away from the match. I'm going for a very light defense still. I have taken the Inquisitor Barriskron just to level 3 to get that good sort of bonus for 9th sister, so maybe this could do something. I don't even think I've modded them, to be honest. I'll maybe mod them for next time, but maybe it might at the very least cause people to throw something good at them. And then also have Keller and Beck, but really I'm just putting relics on defense and saving as much for offense as possible, just because I find I can be a little bit more efficient when it comes to sort of Bronzium GAC. So I think with Squish I will be starting in Bronzium 2, which is nice, so might be able to stay there, might not. I think the big bump will come when I unlock Profundity, and then the week after hopefully Leia. So maybe throughout this 5v5 I might be able to push into Carbonite, not Carbonite, Chromium. So we'll have to see how that goes. Coliseum, I have just put out a separate video on that, going through Coliseum and all of my accounts, so I won't go through it too much here, but have been in the top 30 so far, and yeah, getting those era getting that era currency. So yeah, that's another 500. So I guess I'm about 8 days away from the next token, assuming I'm able to stay in the top 30. Yes, I nearly completely forgot Conquest. So we are now, I guess, about 2/3 of the way through Conquest, and this is my first hard mode Conquest, and it's been pretty fine so far. I've been able to get to Sector 5. I'm occasionally buying some Conquest energy just to speed things up a little. It's probably not necessary. I would maybe like to farm a couple, some form of Datacron at the end of things, but that's mostly just for my own enjoyment. So it looks like I'll be able to get to the end of Sector 5. My teams have really been, I can't even do a battle now, but my teams have been Keller and Beck with Obi-Wan and his Omicron. Great Mothers have been fantastic. SOKR is my sort of break glass in case of emergency if I'm struggling to get past something, which hasn't really been the case. Phoenix as well, very occasionally. I have gotten quite lucky with a few data discs, so I think I will be able to get Gold Crate by the end of things once I go back and do a few more of defeats and bosses. But the reason I've gotten very lucky with the data discs is that I picked up Booming Voice, which is needed for one of the feats, but just on one of the nodes where you get data discs, because otherwise I would have had to have done this, win 20 battles with a full squad of bounty hunters. Maybe with the right data disc setup I could maybe have done this, but it would have been a real pain because I don't have that much investment or zetas into my bounty hunters, so that would have been tough. So great that I've been able to get that and been able to do that feat, which is pretty lucky, to be honest. I think I can't really rely on that. The other thing that has been great is I don't have it equipped at the moment, but this disc. So tends to be quite rare, might not always get it, but all allies are immune to damage and debuffs before the start of their turn, which has been great for just making sure like weaker members of the team survive, just for not dropping any key cards, but also for feats like this. So I've got like a 3-star Forlom and a 3-star Zuckuss, so I was just able to chuck them in like Great Mother's team or SOKR team and just get them through, just going through the nodes, and they were able to survive because they couldn't take damage until they've gone, and they're very slow, they're not modded. So yeah, been pretty good. I think I will be able to get to Gold Crate. Might be a bit more tricky next time just because I think I've been quite lucky with data discs, but I think for my first Conquest at 4 million, I think Gold Crate would be ideal. So I think that's everything in terms of the account. I'll quickly head on over to my weekly stats. Alright, so no spending this week, no more additional spending when it came to the Coliseum, so still only spent I've still spent £16, which is quite a lot, but that's been my expenditure so far, and have been able to stay in the top 30. I might occasionally buy the odd era level up currency pack if I feel that I need that to stay in the top 30, but that's going to be my goal. Is just I'm only going to spend if I think it will help me stay in the top 30 for a decent number of days. And I think, and I'm very conscious about crystals because I'm very much at my limit in terms of saving crystals for the 5-star Marquees, but also for taking Executor straight up to 6 or 7 stars. So that basically means that it's not very efficient for me to spend crystals on Coliseum, because at that point I'd have to buy more crystals if I wanted to do that, and it's just more efficient just to buy the packs directly rather than buying crystals and then buying the material for crystals. So that's been so eking back towards that target line. Who knows, will I ever reach it? I get close occasionally, but I think at the start of the era is going to be the time where I'm spending the most, just to get that head start when it comes to Coliseum. So hopefully I'll be able to drift back towards that £50 a month. And yeah, so here are my stats. I've gone up a little bit. This is actually before I made this, before I recorded the video, so I think I'm closer to 4.2 now with all of those upgrades and lightspeed tokens, but solid increase. I'm really not focusing on GP anymore just because I'm past 4 million. Guild, I think we're just down a member. That's the reason we are slightly less, which is fine. That definitely happens, but I would guess the average GP has grown, which is good. My mods, so because I'm hoarding for the era characters at 5 stars and also for Executor, I've actually cut back on mod energy refreshes. It's not really something I was wanting or planning to do, but I think that's just going to be a very short-term thing while I save up for crystals for the Executor. And I will also start to cut back on Cantina energy a little bit, maybe 1 refresh a day of that, just because I want to save up those crystals. So I think my mod score will maybe creep up slightly, but I think we're not going to see a big increase until I start doing the refreshes again and then also unlock Jabba. So mods could be a temporary slow point of the account. Guild, about the same in terms of raid score, up in terms of Return of the Empire. GAC, no GAC last week, nothing's really changed in terms of like Coliseum or Fleet, so still getting solid rewards through there. One thing I did actually forget to discuss was the era characters, so I'm just going to hop on over to them. Yeah, so back in the game. So this week, or yesterday actually, I pulled the Marquee packs for Vel and got lucky this time. Only had to pull 3 of them and was able to get her to the shard count that I need to be able to get her to 5 stars by the end of the week. So I'd be able to sim that today, get 5 stars, and we are 4 away. So I will actually get her to 5 stars a day earlier than I would need to, and that's just because I pulled 7 shards, a 12 shards, and a 7 shards. So I still needed to get 3 pulls in order to reach 20 shards, but it does mean I think, what was that, about 6 extra shards than I needed. So I will get 1 extra run of this 4th tier, which I guess isn't that huge, but it will mean I'll get a little bit more in terms of her shards, which will be good. I will eventually want to farm her, so yeah, I can just sim these now. So, and that has taken my crystals back down to 7,000. I was about 10,500, so I'm about holding steady when it comes to crystals. These will start to increase a bit more once I cut back on Cantina energy. But also the thing to bear in mind is that for the era, I'm only going to be taking the first 5 characters to 5 stars, so we'll get a little bit of a break towards the end of the era because I won't be taking KX to 5 stars. So while I need to average, I think it's about 230 shards over the course of the era, that is more weighted towards the first 5 marquees. So I think I'm on reasonable pace in order to do that, and then also start saving for Executor. So yeah, a lot to go through there. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to do that, no pressure. And yeah, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.